Hi, welcome to Miss Emily's Kitchen. I'm Miss Emily. Welcome to the season 1 finale. We're finally on episode 10. So to celebrate, we're making one of my favorite desserts and the thing I get asked the most often to make and how I make it. It's cupcakes. So today we're going to be making a couple different kinds. We're going to be doing a basic vanilla cupcake recipe and a basic chocolate. And from those basics, we're going to be making a vanilla with Nutella filling and a chocolate with raspberry filling. So let's take a look at all of our ingredients. So over here we have the ingredients for our vanilla cupcakes. We have 1 cup and 2 tablespoons of flour. We have 3/4 cup and 2 tablespoons of sugar. We're using a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 egg whites, the 1/4 cup of milk, 3/4 cup of sour cream. This is what's going to make the cupcakes really moist. And then here we have a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 stick of butter, room temperature. Now let's take a look at our ingredients for our chocolate cupcakes. So the chocolate cupcake recipe is a little bit different. We're going to be using 2 cups of sugar, 1 3/4 cups of flour, 1 cup of boiling water, 3/4 cups of cocoa, the 1/2 cup of milk, 2 whole eggs, 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking soda, and then it'd be 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now let's take a look at all the utensils you'll need to make this. And here's all the utensils you'll need. A muffin pan, a small mixing bowl, something to scoop your batter with, some cupcake liners, a piping bag with tip, either a hand mixer or a stand mixer, a spatula, and a small knife. Now we're going to start mixing together our vanilla cupcake batter. First, you're going to start by mixing all your dry ingredients. You'll need your flour, your baking soda, and your salt, and a small mixing bowl. So we'll add the flour, add our baking soda. You just want to get this all mixed ahead of time so you don't wind up with any clumps or like baking soda throughout. You'll add your 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I just like to eyeball that. And just mix it together with a fork or a whisk. You can also sift this together if you like. I'm not too worried about lumps, but if you are, just sift it all together. All right, so now mine is mixed, and then we'll go on and mix our wet ingredients separately. Now to mix all of our wet ingredients. First, you're going to start with your room temperature butter. You want to add that into your mixer. And then you're going to add in your sugar. You're going to beat this on about a medium speed and just cream it together. All right, now that your butter and sugar are combined, you're going to add in all the rest of your wet ingredients. So our milk, our vanilla, our 2 egg whites, and our sour cream. Help getting that out of there. All right, and you'll mix all the wet ingredients together for about 30 seconds on a medium speed. All right, so our vanilla cupcake batter is looking pretty good. So we'll pop that mixer up and we'll go off to the side. We're going to start adding in the wet ingredients. You're going to want to add it in about 2 batches. So pour about half in. Trying to go off the side and escape. All right, so we got half in. We'll mix it again for about 30 seconds until just combined. now for the other half of our dry ingredients. I'll pour that in. All right, and then we're just gonna mix it till it's just combined. You don't wanna overbeat this. All right, vanilla batter looks pretty much done. So we're gonna take it. So you can pop it off the base so you can get a look at what it looks like. So this batter makes enough for 12 cupcakes. And so here's our vanilla batter, all mixed. And now we'll get our muffin tins out and get ready to fill. Now we're ready to fill our tin. You'll need your muffin tin and your cupcake liners. I've done this for many, many years, so I've gotten pretty good at it. Just watch. And now to scoop in the filling, I use this special tool that I found at Michael's craft store. It's made by Wilton. It actually has the sides of a rubber scraper on it, and it perfectly measures 1 cupcake. But you can also just use a couple spoons if you like and eyeball it. Either way, we're gonna fill these 3/4 of the way full with our batter. I also like to use a spoon to help get it out. It's about that full. And I'm gonna fill the rest of these and be right back. Now that our muffin tins are filled with batter, we're gonna bake them in the oven at 400 degrees for 5 minutes. Then you'll lower the temperature to 350 and bake for 10 minutes more. When they're done, they'll look just like this. And here's our finished product. Now that our vanilla cupcakes are done, we'll move on to the chocolate. The process is gonna be very similar. Just take all your chocolate ingredients and put them in the mixing bowl. Unlike the vanilla, you don't have to separate wet and dry. Just put them all in the mixing bowl and mix until they're just combined with no lumps. The chocolate will then bake in the oven at 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. When they're all done, they'll look just like this. So these are our finished chocolate cupcakes. Next, we'll move on to making our frosting. Now that our cupcakes have finished cooling off, we're gonna make some frosting. We're gonna start by making just a basic vanilla frosting. From that base, you can make many different flavors, which we'll show you later on. So to start, you'll need 2 sticks of butter that are room temperature, and add those into your stand mixer. Room temp's important, so that way it all gets mixed in evenly. If it's too hard from the fridge, it won't mix well. All right, 2 sticks in. All right, we'll start just mixing those around for a minute. For this, you're definitely gonna want a beater attachment on your stand mixer or beaters for your hand mixer. Then you're gonna add in about 3 cups worth of powdered sugar. You can add this in slowly, that way it doesn't splash out of the mixer at you. So I'm gonna start off with about that much and mix it on very low, otherwise it will definitely fly. Okay, now that a good chunk of that's incorporated, we'll add in the rest. All right. Then we're gonna add in about a teaspoon's worth of vanilla. You could also add in any other flavoring if you wanted to make a mint frosting, add in mint extract or maybe even lemon, just about a teaspoon of flavoring. And then I'm gonna add in about 2 tablespoons worth of heavy cream. You can also use milk if you're trying to watch calories a little bit. So a little bit of heavy cream. And we're gonna start out mixing on low again and then turn it up to high so you can beat it pretty quick. So that way it's nice and fluffy. So now at this point, now that everything's mixed in, you want to check and see your consistency and your flavor. I'm just going to take a little taste. And see, mine's still a little bit too thick, so it won't go through my piping bag very easily, so I'm going to add a little bit more heavy cream. All just kind of depends how thick and stiff you want your frosting. If you're just going to spread it on with a knife, it doesn't really matter, but since I'm going to pipe it, it needs to be pretty fluffy. So I'm going to mix it a little bit more. All right, I think that's a little bit better. So now you can kind of see what it looks like. When it's all done, it should be nice and fluffy like that. Now from this base, you can actually make some different flavors, which we've done earlier. So I took my vanilla frosting and I added in 2 tablespoons worth of Nutella and made some Nutella frosting, which we'll be using too. I also added in to my vanilla base 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder to make chocolate frosting. So now we're gonna decorate all our cupcakes. Now we're gonna start decorating. So first we'll start with our basic cupcakes. First we'll decorate a basic vanilla. So you'll take your cupcake, take our vanilla frosting that we put into a piping bag. Doesn't really matter what tip you wanna use. This is just one I had in my pantry that I thought looked like fun. So you'll take it, you wanna hold tight to the top of the bag so it doesn't leak out, and you'll gently squeeze and go around in a little circle. And done. So there's a basic vanilla. And now we'll do a basic chocolate cupcake, chocolate frosting. This one I have a little star tip on. And we'll just pipe in a little circle. Perfect, just like that. And now for some of our fun ones. These are my filled cupcakes. These are my favorite. So I'm gonna take one of my chocolate cupcakes, take a little knife. We're just gonna cut a little hole right in the center, just enough to put some filling in. And you can save all these and make cake pops or something fun like that. I'm just gonna eat it. Make sure you got a little well created. And I'm gonna fill it with just plain old raspberry preserves. It's really nice. You don't have to make a fancy sauce to put in the middle of this. If you want to use your favorite jams and jellies, it actually adds a lot of flavor and makes the cupcake super moist. So I'm just going to drop that in there, kind of poke it down, and no one's going to be able to see this, so it doesn't have to be perfect. We'll take that. Take our chocolate frosting. You could add some raspberry flavoring to this too, or mash up some raspberries. I just like the plain chocolate frosting. And then we're gonna pipe around it and hide it because it'll be our little secret that it's in there. And I'll decorate it with 1 raspberry on top so people know what flavor it is. And now for one of our fun variations on our vanilla, take our vanilla cupcake and again, take a little knife and cut out a hole in the middle. Fun part about these, you can fill it with whatever flavorings you like. You could do a vanilla key lime, vanilla lemon. Today I've got vanilla and then I've got Nutella to go inside. It's just a nice hazelnut chocolate spread. That'll make it really yummy. So again, take 2 spoons, dollop a little bit of Nutella in the middle, and it can overflow a little. As you saw earlier, the frosting hides all of it, which is perfect. And then this is my frosting that I made by adding a little bit of Nutella to my vanilla frosting. And then we'll just take this and pipe it on top. As you can see with this one, you don't always need a fancy piping bag. Sometimes a large Ziploc bag will also work. So you'll just need it to cover that hole. I think my piping bag is gonna burst out the side. That wouldn't be good. So this one, I'm just gonna cover that hole just with a little frosting. And then if it's not looking the hottest, this is actually a nice tip. If your frosting doesn't come out pretty like you want, just top it with some chocolate chips and no one will know the difference. And I don't know about you, but I don't love a ton of frosting on my cupcakes. So I usually just do a minimal amount around the top and then we're good. As you can see here, we have all our flavors on display. We have our plain vanilla, plain chocolate, our vanilla with Nutella filling and Nutella frosting, and our chocolate-filled raspberry cupcakes. This is such a great recipe to utilize for either of these because you get a nice basic cupcake that you can then change however you like and use whatever flavors you have on hand. These can also be made alcoholic if you want to spike the frosting, but that's up to you. Thank you so much for watching season 1 of Miss Emily's Kitchen. We appreciate it so much and we've had a lot of fun. We couldn't have done it without all the subscribers that we have. If you're following us on Facebook, make sure to like and subscribe to our page. If you're following us on YouTube, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And a special thanks to my husband, Andrew, who's been the technical genius behind all of this, in charge of directing, editing, filming, everything. Wouldn't have been able to do it without him. Thanks, guys.